What's up, everybody? Today we are in a 2012 Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG, and I am going to teach you how to use the Distronic Plus adaptive cruise control in this car. So this video is kind of for the older Mercedes that have this extra stalk right here that's you're gonna hit on accident as the turn signal stalk when you first start driving one of these cars. And there's a few different versions of cruise control. The way to know if you have any version of Distronic, if you've got this bit, which is actually meant for changing the following distance, then you have some version of Distronic. It's either Distronic or Distronic Plus. And the difference there is the Distronic Plus can bring the car to a complete stop. Regular Distronic can't. So the way you use the system is pretty simple. You just, once you're up to speed, bump the stalk up to set your speed, and you'll see on this car it says Distronic Plus, so you'll know that it has it, the plus part I mean. If you want to go faster once you're moving, you can just bump up one click to increase your speed 1 mile per hour, or if you bump it up all the way and let it go, it'll increase your speed by 5 miles per hour. Same thing to decelerate, same kind of control there. To resume the cruise control function, if the vehicle has brought itself to a complete stop, or if you had to hit the brake and intervene and cancel it real quick, you just pull the stalk towards you and that resumes it. You can push backwards to cancel the adaptive cruise, or you can just hit the brakes. And if the car's brought itself to a complete stop, you can just go ahead and tap the gas pedal as well to get it moving again. So again, just like I said, this is the Distronic Plus, so this one can bring the car to a complete stop. That's what I'm demonstrating today. If yours just has the regular Distronic, like for example, I've driven a 2009 SL that had just the regular Distronic, it would work and maintain distance from the vehicle in front of me until the speed got below 20 miles per hour, and then it would cancel itself and tell you to take control. So just be mindful of that. This car can bring itself to a complete stop, but your Mercedes might not be able to, depending on which version of the system that you have. And then if I use these buttons on this particular car, I can scroll over to drive assist. And if I go into distance display, that's going to be the display that I'm showing while I drive the vehicle. So we're going to take it out on the road and demonstrate it for you now so that you can see how it works. All right, so we are out on the road, we're on the move. So I just need to bump this up to turn on the Distronic Plus, and I'm going to bump it up a couple more times, increase my speed to about 45, we'll say 50 miles an hour, which admittedly is slightly over the speed limit on this road, but that's kind of what it takes to keep up with traffic here. And anyway, I won't actually exceed that until the car in front of me exceeds it, although we are currently doing 50, and this gentleman is going to start to slow down. He's going to get out of my way. I haven't done anything, and the Mercedes has picked up on the Land Rover Defender in front of me. We are coming to a stop, and he starts moving again, and the car starts moving again. So we weren't stopped long enough for me to have to intervene to resume the function of the Distronic Plus cruise control system. The car just did that on its own. If we'd been into a complete stop for a few seconds, then I would have had to pull forward on the stalk to resume. And just keep in mind, if you have an older Mercedes with just the regular Distronic and not the Distronic Plus, it's only going to slow down to 20 miles an hour, and then it will prompt you to bring the car to a complete stop, because this is the Distronic Plus, which it's telling me right there, and I'm drifting out of my lane in the center. That means that it will bring itself to a complete stop. Now, I currently have this set to the shortest following distance. So if I move this little tab like so, we will lengthen the following distance out a little bit and maintain a little bit longer following distance. I can see we're coming up to a red light in the distance. The vehicle there got out of our way, and I'm gonna hit the brakes. The Mercedes probably would have locked onto that Tesla and brought itself to a complete stop. But in situations like that, whenever I'm using the adaptive cruise control in any car, I just hit the brakes and take control and do it myself, because I don't want to be the guy who crashes into a car because I was trusting my car to do its thing. The Distronic Plus system is not meant to be driving towards stopped traffic and bring itself to a complete stop. It's meant to lock on and follow the car and speed up and slow down with the car in front of you. And now, if I just pull forward, we are resumed to 50 miles per hour. So the car is now accelerating on its own. I do not have my foot on the gas. And we are just going up the hill. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind with this system. One thing I always tell people is keep in mind what sort of vehicle you are following. The example I always use is a flatbed delivery truck with nothing on the bed of the truck. Are you actually locked on to the back of the truck, or are you locked on to the back of the cab? So if you're following the truck too closely, keep that in mind. The Mercedes is now slowing itself down again and bringing itself to a complete stop. Just like that, and now we are stopped. I do not have my foot on the brake. We are just relaxing, waiting here in a beautiful car with beautiful diamond-stitched leather. Something else to keep in mind is weather, heavy rain, any kind of snow or ice. I certainly don't recommend using the system in those sorts of conditions. Another thing is it doesn't read red lights. So this is a red light, but the only reason we stopped is because we were locked onto the back of this Tesla in front of us. If there was no vehicle in front of us and the light turned red and we would have trusted the car, I'm just going to tap the gas pedal there and get moving again. That's the other way to do it. If there was no car to be locked onto and we were just cruising at our set speed and a stoplight turned red or a stop sign was coming up, the car will not stop. This system is not designed to read any kind of traffic signals, so don't trust it to do that. Always keep in mind, you're the one driving the car. You still need to pay attention to the road, be ready to intervene. You know, you're still in charge of the steering on this model. This is a 2012 Mercedes. It doesn't have any facilitation for lane centering or self-steering or anything like that. You have to keep your hand on the steering wheel. You have to watch the road, be ready to hit the brakes, intervene. Something else to keep in mind, if somebody cuts you off very sharply and is getting in your way, the system kind of looks forward. It doesn't have the best peripheral vision. So just tap the brakes, take control of the system, make sure you're at a safe distance, and then just pull up right there to resume, as we are going to do now to get the car moving again. And then the car is accelerating on its own. Once again, I don't have my foot on the gas, but I am going to put my foot on the brake here just because I see that there's some road construction up ahead. We're losing a lane. So this person in the Volvo is going to get in front of me. That's totally fine. Now I can resume because it looks like all the merging is over with. So we will just let the Distronic Plus kind of walk us through the traffic. Now, right now I'm doing like 5 miles per hour. The car's doing like 5 miles per hour. This is the scenario, in my opinion, where these systems really do their best work. In heavy stop and go traffic at very low speeds, that sort of 2 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour, 12 miles an hour. That is where these systems are really great at reducing driver fatigue because you don't have to brake, accelerate, brake, accelerate, brake, accelerate. You still need to watch the road and steer and be ready to intervene, but the car does take a lot of stress out of that driving situation. I always make these tutorial videos on surface streets, but realistically, and I'm actually making one in my personal vehicle right now, when I'm driving this car on surface streets, I really never use the Distronic Plus system in this environment. I pretty much exclusively use it on the highway. I just tap the gas to get the car moving again, so you just kind of give it one quick tap and that reactivates it to move forward, and now the car is accelerating on its own. I pretty much use this exclusively on the highway in my personal life. It's just easier to make these how-to videos on surface streets because traffic comes to a stop much more predictably whenever there's a red light. So that's why I do this here, but realistically, this isn't the best use case for it, but you can still do it. Now, this is where you kind of have to keep in mind, I still have it set to 50, and I'm coming up to the car. I can feel the Mercedes braking once it locks onto this blue car in front of me. So now we are back back in line, and somebody is texting the heck out of my phone. I forgot to put it on silent before I filmed this. So that's pretty much all there is to say about how to use this Distronic Plus system. You just bump it up to set it, bump it up or down to accelerate, pull it towards yourself to resume, and you just hit the brakes or push it backwards to cancel it. And always make sure to watch the road and be ready to intervene, and remember, you're responsible for the safe operation of the vehicle. If you have any questions about these systems, please feel free to leave a comment. I'm just going to hit the brakes right now and take control. Please feel free to leave a comment, and I'll do my best to answer your question. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.